True story. I was teaching a middle school class. It was a talented and gifted class, and one of my students stood up in front of the class and asked me if I was one of those girls who likes girls. And as a teacher, you know, this was in a state that didn't protect your orientation, and so the teacher would just give this pat answer. That's a very personal question, and it's inappropriate to ask a personal question. There was this kind of Teflon answer. So I'm looking at this girl, and I thought, well, I'm a teacher. And if I give the Teflon answer, this class, they're not stupid. They're going to know one of two things. I'm afraid or I'm ashamed, and maybe both. And I thought, well, am I afraid? Am I ashamed? And I thought, no. So I just took a deep breath and I said, well, actually, what you're asking me is if I'm lesbian, and yes, I am, and it's an absolutely wonderful way of life. Well, of course, I lost that job.
I need to tell you that someone at camp has also accused you of being a lesbian. Who? I'm not going to tell you who it was. But this person reported to me that she saw you holding hands with Renee.
Tony.
I'm not going to say who
it was. Tony.
The point is, an accusation has been made, and now it must be dealt with.
I have a lot of issues with the Charlottes of this world. When the gay or lesbian child kills herself or himself, often nobody knows. And we see these newspaper articles and they're baffled. It was an A student. They were on the soccer team. He didn't seem to have any problems at all. He never drank. I don't know why. And so everybody's off the hook. They took their secret with them to the grave, and all of the people that used Teflon strategies in front of that child, I feel like there's blood on their hands.
I think the consequences of messages about, sexuality being very narrow for young girls at 9 and 10 is that they begin to disconnect from what they really feel and think, and that can have real psychological consequences.
The first time that I ever thought about suicide, I was 9, and it was after having a friend sleep over and wanting to kiss her. And I just remember writing in my diary at the time, I think I'm gay, everyone's gonna hate me, I wanna die.
I was really confused. I kept on thinking, what's wrong with me? Why do I think she's cute? She's not cute, she's a girl.
I knew that I liked boys, that was the normal thing. But then I started not just looking at the boys, but also thinking that I also like girls, but I didn't know what it was.
I notice when my friends are looking at magazines, they're looking at the makeup. They're not looking at the girls wearing the makeup.
A lot of my friends used really strong language about gays and lesbians, and they talked as if they didn't like it. So I thought that they wouldn't like me, so I basically kept quiet, and I was really alone.
What was running through my head is that maybe I would lose some respect, or maybe they wouldn't interact with me the way they usually do.
One of my biggest fears was losing everything and then having nothing, and what do you go from there?
I hadn't known before that people get kicked out of their houses for being gay or lesbian, but I'm finding that out. We were playing a game where we wrote down 5 things: a close relative, a special thing, a special place to hang out, your friend, and your dream.
I'd like you to write down the name of a relative or family member that is close to you, close as in heart.
One rule of the game was that we had to pretend we were lesbian.
And they look at you and they say, you are a lesbian. Is it true? Are you a dyke? Are you queer?
And one by one, the things got taken off the list because of that.
I'd like you right now to rip off just number 1 from the piece of this paper and crumple up what you have now just lost, and that's your best friend.
In the end, the last thing that we had written down was our dream, and now that we were kicked out of our house, we had nowhere to go, then there was no hope of our dream.
you don't have the friendship, you don't have the family, you do not have what it takes anymore, either inside or outside, to realize this dream.
It'd be really frustrating because, like, you know, you can't change yourself no matter, like, what people think, and the world's not gonna change, so what are you supposed to do?
You had nothing. You're completely secluded from everything that was so secure beforehand.
I know I feared that all of those steps would happen for pretty much more or less the same people, same things. And I'm glad that it didn't happen that way.
All teenagers have things to worry about. They're very similar in that way. Everybody, no matter how different they think they are, they worry about what they're going to wear that day. They're worrying about their grades. They're worrying about a test they're going to have in the afternoon. They're worried about their parents getting divorced. They're worrying about all these things. The only other thing is that people that are homosexual have to worry about telling everyone that they're homosexual.
Don't go, Renee.
What? I should stay and fight? I could ask Vanessa to recruit the other counselors. Or maybe I should organize the 8-year-olds? I know, how about their parents?
I'll support you.
You want to support me? Come out of the closet.
I know that when I go to a meeting or if I go to some gathering of people I don't know, I don't stand up and say, "Hi, I'm Abby McCann. I'm 16 years old and I'm heterosexual."
You came to me like lightning upon a picket fence, shattered